What's up, everybody, and welcome to Just Because Gaming. My name is Michael,
And I'm Ray.
and thank you for joining us. And before we jump into it, we just wanted to say, please go and like, comment, subscribe, go on all the socials, do all the things in all the places. Also, we have an updated Just Because Gaming website, justbecausegaming.com, as well as a Patreon, and links are in the description below. That being said, let's jump into it. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today is that there's been a lot of news and rumor and speculation about PlayStation wanting to catch up with all this handheld console hype. You know, there's been the Nintendo Switch 2 that recently came out to huge fanfare, and now there's this huge hype train about the Xbox ROG Ally and the Xbox ROG Ally X. And you know, there's been a lot of demand. Microsoft and Asus have been watching the metrics and the keywords and the searches for this stuff, and it's just through the roof. And lately there's been talk about PlayStation wanting to do the same thing. Have you heard anything about this yet, Ray?
I was actually listening to another podcast earlier today while at work, and it was the first time I heard them mention that PlayStation's working on one. It'll be one of their own. It won't be like outsourced like Xbox did the ROG. But yeah, that's going to be playing native games and that kind of thing. And it sounds good. I imagine it'll look similar to the PlayStation Portal that they have now, but it'll, be, I want to know if it's going to be a dockable console so it can play on your TV as well and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah, so there's been this pretty reliable source of all this information. It's a user named Moore's Law is Dead. I'm sure you've heard of
I've
that,
heard
right?
of him, yeah.
Yeah. And he's leaked a lot of information about it. Apparently it's being called the PlayStation 6 Canis. That's supposed to be their next handheld console. Honestly, I'm surprised that they're still going after this after the moderate success of the PSP and then the hype and aggressive crash of the PS Vita. The funny thing is I had both of those handhelds and I loved them. The problem that I saw with both of those, did you ever have like a PSP or PS Vita or anything? I know you've been in the
PSP for a little while.
Okay.
That was it. That was the last PlayStation I've owned.
Well, we'll give it time.
Hey, this
What would you
portable comes out and it's basically going to be a handheld PlayStation. I might consider buying that because I'll have my Xbox console and then it'll play the PlayStation exclusives. Shoot, I'm covered.
Yeah, so currently the concept art basically has it looking like the PlayStation Portal, that thing you mentioned, Ray, that currently exists. And it's selling okay for something that's just a streaming device from your PlayStation 5. But the demand, they're seeing that the demand is still there in terms of PlayStation. And so, yes, they've been working on this PS Canis, and it looks like the Portal with a giant tablet in the middle of it. And it looks like they're taking out a page of Xbox's book, and they've got the controller grips, so it's going to be, very ergonomic and comfortable to hold. Again, we'll have links in the description and we'll pop up images, and it looks incredible. It's supposed to have internal storage. They're saying that it's going to have 4 of the Zen 6C cores for the CPU, somewhere between 12 to 20 of the RDNA 5 compute units, 16 gigs of RAM. It's going to have about 15 watts of draw. So that's actually not a lot of, power that it's taken up. And they're saying that it's going to have PS5 and PS4 support, and it'll also have a low power mode for performance matching, like if you have it unplugged and it's just running off battery. Now, unlike the previous handheld consoles, it's not going to have some ridiculous overpriced, memory chip or anything like that. It's going to have a micro SD slot, and the really interesting thing is it's going to have an M2 SSD slot, which that's like a computer SSD card. It's like this long rectangular thing. I've shown those to you before, right, Ray?
Yeah.
So they basically look like long, like flash drive chips. And I mean, those are a dime a dozen. So unless they do like Xbox did and try to do some proprietary, it can't run unless it's one of our brands type thing, which that's usually not PlayStation's MO. Usually if you're brave enough to open it and swap out the parts, they don't care. So yeah, that's incredible to think. Not only will there be a micro SD card, but there will be an SSD slot that you can put an M2 SSD in, which, I mean, geez, I don't even know what they go up to now for those M2 SSDs. I think the biggest they have is maybe 4 or 6 terabytes. I mean, those are expensive, but still,
Yeah.
that's a lot of power for a handheld
Imagine
console.
6 terabytes of space on your console. That's nice.
Yeah. The other thing is it will have USB-C. So they're saying that it'll definitely be for charging and potentially for docking as well. They haven't went on to that part to say if it's going to be for docking, but with every other handheld console, the Switch and now the Xbox ROG Ally X having docking capabilities as well, I'm pretty sure they'll go that route. Since there's not information about it being dockable, there's not information of what that docked mode could look like. I would imagine that the settings would probably be higher, so it's probably 1080, I'm going to guess, on a mobile, but then when you dock it, it'll probably render up to 4K. That's just speculation. That's just my guess, but that's literally what the Switch 2 and the Xbox ROG Ally X are doing. So, I would imagine that they'd make it to be compatible. Plus, with the specs actually being more powerful than the Xbox ROG Ally X, I don't know why they wouldn't go that route. There's no price set for it yet because all this is still in the rumor stage of it and it's very infancy, but the targeted date seems to be the fall of 2027, possibly early 2028. So they'll be a year behind the Xbox ROG Ally X, but that's not to say anything bad, because they might want to have that space to let the Xbox ROG Ally X, ride their wave of popularity. And then once demand for the Xbox ROG Ally X starts to die down, then boom, they'll offer their own offering and, be able to not have to compete as much. So it's very interesting.
It also gives them time to see, is that market really there? I mean, if that one sells, the ROG Ally sells really well, and some of these other handheld options, cool, let's make ours. Say all those things tank, and the next thing you know, these are handhelds. We're gonna just let Nintendo handle that. They have time to back out, so they get to kind of watch the market and decide, okay, do I want to invest in this or not? Is it worthwhile?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since they've got plenty of time, I mean, with them putting this stuff into production, all they have to do is wait a month to see how the demand is for the Xbox ROG Ally X. And if they see that it's just flying off the shelves, then they're probably going to green light it. But if they see that like 5 people buy, including me, and they're probably going to be like, no. But yeah, let us know in the comments below. Are you interested in the Xbox ROG Ally X? Are you interested in a PlayStation 6 portable console? What are some things that would sell you on it? What would be some things that would, make you run away in fear?
Yeah, let us know in the comments, and like and subscribe as always. That's going to be the end of our show today, and we thank you for joining us. Later.
Peace.